Live. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Ready Play Go, the place where streamers, weirdos, and nerds get together and play TTRPGs. We are back after an eventful episode last week that was filled with horror and terror and heartbreak and all the fun stuff. I tell you, when I was editing for the highlights, like I added, like I like to add like the music and stuff like that into it, and see that entire scene with you and
Right.
Carrigan after the discovery. Oh, it was fucking beautiful. It was
Like
stunning.
one of my in that scene specifically, Kerrigan's face when she realized it was Joshua's wife, and then the whole time she's trying to tell him, she's like, "Don't
Yeah.
punch me in the face! Don't tell me to fuck off!" And then you having to take a swig of beer to steady yourself was amazing.
Yeah.
It was so good.
No,
It was so good.
there was quite a few good moments. There was one moment last week. I've taken the clip because I was going to put it into a short, but there's just one moment where I think I'm describing, um, like something to like you. I think it was when you saw the figure, and it was just a moment where I was describing what you see, and everybody is just kind of like listening, and then I say that you see a figure of a young girl, and it's everybody's head just goes "Huh?" like in unison. It was fucking brilliant. Oh, but yeah.
Yeah, it was good.
It was. So, yes, I am the game mother for this game, Chrissy C90. We are joined by our entire cast of Docs Ryan, Haberdactor, Avery Connors, and Outermost Ghost. Before we begin our game, as we like to do here, wherever I've put it, there it's there. Quick disclaimer, our Alien game is intended for those 18 and over, with both action and horror vibes. The game is intended to play into character fears. This may invoke anxiety. We have ground rules set up that all players agree to, but if anything within the game causes distress, please stop watching. We understand that the game may not be for everyone, and your support in any capacity is always appreciated. So, with that, please get yourself comfortable, make sure you've got your snacks, and we will jump into today's episode of Alien Entrapment. Okay, so we left off last week after our crew of Martha discovered a rather unsettling uh, situation within this abandoned or believed to be abandoned station in the middle of nowhere, where they found a cargo bay full of cryopods that were filled with once living people, one of which was the body of Joshua Sweet's wife. And we also had a discovery by Tavin where they saw a strange yellow multi-limbed creature within the cryopod next to the head of the person that was inside it. So we are going to pick up where we left off, where Tavin is currently in somewhat of a panic mode, scrambled up against one of the far walls of the cargo bay. And the rest of you, Tavin, Carrigan, and Andrea, you see Tavin curiously look into one of these pods before this overwhelming panic and fear overcame him, and he scrambled back as if trying to get away from whatever was in the pod.
If Carrigan will allow, I would like to look inside the pod.
Yeah. You're not handcuffed to me. There's a tether. It's long-ish.
Okay, I'll look inside.
Okay. You go up to the pod. Are you going to this pod that Tavin had looked in, or just one that's next to you?
No.
The one that Tavin?
The one that freaked him out.
Okay. You do go over to the pod, and looking inside is when you do also see to the left or the right of the head is a strange yellow multi-limbed creature lying motionless.
How many limbs?
I think it's 8.
Huh. Arachnid.
And a long tail-like appendage.
Okay.
Is it curled up like a little cat?
No, it's on its back with its limbs kind of curled inwards slightly. Not completely in, but just in a kind of curled in state.
Bug.
Yeah.
Carrigan, you've ever seen one of these?
Would I've ever seen one of these? I don't think so,
No.
But
no.
No.
Nothing you've came across.
Also not.
What the fuck is that? What is that? What the fuck is that?
Do we have anything to take like a picture of it?
I don't think so. I
Okay.
don't think any of your little devices would allow that.
Okay.
Doc?
It does say after one round I can act normally.
Yeah. I think one round is about 10-15 minutes. So I would say that probably in 5 minutes in game would be when you start to settle.
I'll be like, sweet. What do you know? What is this? What the fuck is this? Do you know what this is?
I'll kind of shake off being in my own world and kind of look over at Tavin and look back at Carrigan and be like, give me a second, I'll be right there. I'm gonna walk over to Tavin and kind of, is he like sitting down, like kind of like?
Yeah, he's.
Can I just say I looked it up? Around is 5 to 10 seconds.
Is it 5 to 10 seconds? All right.
Yeah, because it's specifically there's different measures of time, and around is only 5 to 10 seconds.
Right. It's a shift that's like 10-15 minutes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
No, that's fine then. So yeah,
is he still kind of like losing his shit?
Well, I'd say at this point, as you've kind of walked up, it'd probably be less kind of panic stricken, more just kind of still sitting down up against the wall, looking towards the cryo bay, but less heavy breathing, fear, I would say.
I'm gonna kind of squat down and be like, "Hey, You okay?
One fucked up thing after the other. There's something in the fucking cryo tanks.
I know. I'm gonna go look at it with Carrigan, but I wanted to make sure you were all right first.
He's gonna like kind of try and like shake his hands out, like he's trying to get the jitters out. I'll be fine. I'll be fine.
Okay.
Just caught me off guard.
Yeah, this couple things have caught me off guard in this place, so I can relate. I just wanted to make sure you were good.
Be good. I'll be good.
All right. I get up, walk over to Carrigan, and I'm like, okay, what do you got?
Just point and be like, what the fuck is that?
It looks like a bug, maybe an arachnid. Not something I've seen though.
It's a big fucking bug.
Okay, I will look into the cryopod at what they're looking at.
It looks dead. That's
Yep,
good news.
that is disturbing. And no, I haven't seen anything like that before. I got. Chris, I'm gonna reach in and kind of grab it. Is there like a table in this area?
What?
Like in the cryo bay, is there like a table?
Cryo bed's closed.
Yeah, the cryopods
Yeah,
are all
the
closed.
cryopods.
Us.
Okay. I'm gonna reach in and grab it by like what I assume is like the back.
So
You
you're
have to
going to
open
open
the
the
cryo
cryopod?
Oh, I didn't realize it wasn't open. That's my bad.
Yeah,
Oh,
no, they're
okay.
all still closed to kind of like. That's why you all thought that they were still in use.
Yeah.
But they are
my bad.
all still closed.
If he tries to
My
open
bad.
it, I might tackle him to the ground.
No. I completely forgot that they were still closed. I'm just gonna be like, look at it and be like, fuck if I know. I haven't seen nothing like that.
Okay. Suggestion. We take
that better?
note of everything in here. And Carrigan sends off to the marshals like we initially planned. So they can come here with the proper personnel and scientists, etc., to look at whatever this is. We go back to the Marthanóir, we look at the data that you guys have collected, and we see where it tells us to go next.
Okay. I'm fine with that.
You hear Tavin from far away against the wall. I'm good with that.
Yeah, I don't have any better options. So I think we gather whatever evidence we can and get the hell out of here.
Okay.
Should we turn the cryo beds back on so that those things can't possibly wake up?
Like maybe put them into actual cryo.
Well, they're. Hold on. Wait. Never mind.
They're in cryopods, but they're not turned on.
But
So
the other question is that apparently somebody else. Am I getting it right? That someone else also accessed the computer system before we got here.
Yeah.
yeah,
So because we don't see any other ships around, there's possibly someone still on this station.
Yeah.
Someone who would be involved.
Someone who's making sure the pods are still maintaining the my best guess is whatever mass is in these victims, the pods are acting like incubators.
Yes. That's what I would assume as well.
I really
So-
fucking hope not.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I don't know. Like,
Which means
so I don't know if we
cryo
should
might
freeze it.
actually kill the thing. Oh god.
Yeah, but
What-
what are they incubating? Like, I'm assuming the mass is something like you. The only thing I can think of off the top of my head is some insects lay eggs inside of living things and use them as living incubators, but the people in the cryopods aren't alive. So maybe the cryopods are just sustaining the bodies. I don't know. I'm just kind of like, I don't know. Like
Yeah.
I'm reaching for something. I don't know. I got nothing. That's the best I got.
I'm gonna tap on the glass if I can. Just
Okay.
not
Yeah.
opening any. Just
Yeah. Ooh.
Okay.
no strength behind it. Just enough to be like how you, well, how you don't tap on a fish tank.
Okay.
How small children tap on zoo exhibit glass.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. As you tap on the glass, I need you to make a panic roll.
Why?
She didn't fine. See, fine.
It didn't do anything.
No, you
oh
good.
yeah, it
You're
did.
good. I'm taking your first
Sorry.
one
That's yeah. I wasn't scrolled down enough.
Sorry.
That's the only reason why I rolled again.
As you tap the glass, nothing happens.
Yeah. Okay. It doesn't move or anything.
Nope. Nothing moves.
Like, are they alive? Do we know that they're alive? Are they
we don't
alive?
know.
People aren't alive.
Yes.
I know the people
Well,
aren't alive.
We got life scans from these tanks, which means there's something
There's
alive
something
in there.
Yeah.
Okay, is this specific one showing life? Are they all showing life? That's
They're
what I
all
don't.
showing
This
life.
is Haba, not.
They were
Remember.
all. There was 10 life forms in the
Mhm.
cargo bay, and there's 10 cryopods.
What if they like cold?
Then that's, I don't know.
There's
I-
a difference between cold and cryo sleep.
Right, but we've already. I'm gonna say nothing about.
We're
Cryo
making
sleep
a
isn't
lot of.
just cold. It's a mix of chemicals to induce it.
We're making
Yeah,
a lot of assumptions. I think.
Well,
You were
if
saying,
the
Joshua?
if the assumption is they're incubators, initiating a cryostasis should halt the incubation process. But if somebody's been here, they're clearly maintaining the pod. So even if they might not be able to be initiated for whatever reason. So like I don't know. Like at this point, my wife over there
Yes.
and 9 other people, I part of me just wants to say, fucking set the room on fire, because I don't know what to do, and if it is an incubation thing, I don't want to know what's incubating. So I'm like,
well, that's why I want a Marshall team and biohazard.
yeah, but if there's somebody,
It'll
yeah,
take
but
them-
it's gonna take a while, and if someone's here, like they might, I don't.
be moved, be done. So either we stay here. That sounds insane. Or we search, maybe do a more full scan of the station to find the other person here to understand what's going on.
If there's anybody here, I mean,
There's somebody who accessed the computer systems before we
Well,
got
Was
here.
it?
An
Was it
hour
remote
Yeah.
before we
access?
even got here. They could have left.
They
Yeah.
could have.
They could have left before we even got here.
They could still be here. We don't know.
Yeah, that's the problem. There's too much we don't know.
Yeah.
Well, we
so
go
our
back to the
options
ship
are-
and I can try and scan the whole ship. It'll take a while, but I can do it.
And meanwhile, we send out for Marshall support.
Yeah. I need to let them know that the U.S. CMC is actively trying to murder Marshall.
And yeah.
Well, if we're gonna send a message, we need to send it like to somebody specific, Kerrigan.
Yeah.
Because if the Marines are involved, like they could.
I'm gonna send it to my superior, whose name I totally know off the top of my head
Lydia
Oh, I'm sure
Montel?
you do.
from the first episode.
Lydia Montel.
Yes.
See, Andrea knows. Yeah, I'm okay with whatever we do at this point because I got nothing. I literally got nothing.
Let's go back to Martha. Let's go back to
Yeah.
Martha.
I will get up and start following, I guess, back to Martha, if that's what we're doing.
Okay.
I'm gonna hang back a bit and just kind of walk back to my wife's cryopod and take the glove off and just kind of put my hand on the face cover of the tank.
You're
And
in a
just kinda-
zero suit. Zero.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're. Oh, that's right. I thought I had a.
Yeah.
My bad.
We're in zero atmosphere.
Takes a minute for me to get my brain back into the thing, but
No, you're
I'll
good.
just kind of put my hand on the tank and just kind of hold it there for a second.
Joshua
then-
takes his glove off and dies.
It's really
Get
okay. Leave me alone.
education. Goodbye.
Yeah, I'm
You've
dying
been
with
through
my
a lot.
wife. Yeah, just put my hand on the tank and have a minute, and then walk out because I can't do anything else.
No.
Yeah. As you're all leaving, you would kind of see Joshua kind of go back over, and you all kind of leave there knowing to give him just a couple of minutes to himself. But as you're walking along the corridor, Joshua does catch up with you. Tavin,
Yeah.
as you are all walking down the corridor, you do get a blip on from your laptop.
Okay.
And as you open and look, Martha's radar is picking up something in the reaches of space, currently on a path towards you. One singular blip. Probably about not that far from where you are, but you're probably talking within 20 minutes if they're traveling at a relative space or time, or speed, sorry. But
How? Sorry, go ahead.
you do get that singular blip on the kind of security radar.
How long did it take us to walk to the cryo room
Or probably
from the ship?
3-4 minutes.
Okay. I will turn to the group and say something's coming in from space on the radar. We might want to hurry.
Okay.
And I will begin kind of jogging towards the ship.
Very well.
Auto suit.
I'm gonna. No, I'm not. That's chaos. Okay.
And, I
Easy
can't do it
Julie,
while
easy.
running. I can't do it while running. Never mind.
I was like, I'm gonna pop Andrea on my back.
I'm tethered.
Motor style.
Yeah. And whichever manner you are able to get there, you are able to get along the corridor. It's easy enough. It's a corridor.
So yeah, we'll do that, and I will instantly, as soon as we get to the ship, begin takeoff procedures to not be attached to a dead ship when something else shows up.
No problem at all. Yeah, it's easy enough. Again, you're able to depressurize the your holding area. get everybody through, and then repressurize it. Start getting your suits off or 4 of you can get your suits off, or the 3 of you can get your suits off if you want. As Tavin makes a break towards the bridge and begins startup procedures.
I would like to quickly message that lady. Cute. I totally know her.
Lydia
Lydia
Montel.
Montel.
Won't tell. Just give her as much information as I possibly can. And then I have a question that the answer's probably no. Do I know who Uncle John's superior officer is?
I think it's less about if you know, or if it's more like if I know. I'd imagine it's information that you'd probably be able to get. Like someone will know. Like Lydia Mantel and that kind of stuff would know what the ranking is and who's above.
Okay, and I'll just make it sure that she knows that I forgot his rank. John Bishop is actively chasing and trying to assassinate a marshal and the team she's with.
Okay, no problem. Yeah, it's easy enough to kind of get the message out.
I'll also suggest to Andrea that she lets Wayland Yutani know that the USCMC is actively.
Oh no, I've already notified them.
Okay, all right.
But
Couldn't remember.
I think we established it takes about 10 minutes for me to take off in no atmosphere, no gravity. So I am going to try and pilot. Is my ship smaller than the ship we were in?
Yes.
I am going to try and park my ship on the other side of the ship from where the thing is coming, the blip, and then go into low power settings, basically minimize as much as possible so that we possibly wouldn't be detected by radar unless they notice us.
Can you do that and still scan the ship?
No.
Fair enough.
I'm trying to hide right now.
Fair enough.
We have to be careful and play hide and seek.
Give me a piloting roll. And this will encompass, this isn't just to see if you can maneuver around, this will encompass the whole action that you're trying to do. Okay.
God fucking damn it. Nah, give me a second. I got panic roll.
Take your nap relief first.
I already made the roll.
Yeah.
I already made the roll. Nerves and twitchy.
Yeah. That's workable. That's workable.
Yeah.
Okay. So yes,
my stress went up again. God damn it.
As you're all kind of like preparing like the startup and that kind of stuff, time passes that it is deemed, and this ship or this blip that's coming in is moving relatively fast. It's not a slow moving blip. So you are able to slowly maneuver Martha around to the other side, using it as sort of like a hiding spot. You're able to power down the less important kind of things, trying to keep the important things that you can get away with still on and running.
I'll also say for everyone over the comms, I'll ask Joshua to go where the light gun rail is for the controls, which is in the bridge as well. And then I will tell everyone to not send any messages or connect in any way to any services, and to not move around a lot.
Okay.
Okay, but that is after we've.
Yep.
After like.
Yeah.
Okay, we want.
This is after I've
to make
parked
sure.
and have started going to low power settings.
Carrigan and Andrea, once this message comes across, you get a little bit of an anxious feeling as you've just sent messages out with the ship to your superiors.
Yep.
I'll take my
Myself
lighter
before
out
you.
and clickety clickety clicky, open and close, open and close, open and close.
Just gonna watch.
Didn't you destroy the ladder because it had the
No.
Nope.
no?
Nope.
The bear took a thing off of it
Yeah.
and gave it back to me.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He took a computer chip out of the lid of the lighter.
The Zippo. Yeah.
So yes, yep, you're able to do that. Joshua, you go and man the controls for the light railgun. The ship gets eerily quiet. Like you can hear a pin drop in the vacuum of space.
But there's no sound in space.
Matt.
But there is in Martha.
Okay. Good. Means we have atmosphere. I have to say first.
Tavin.
Yeah.
As you are all quiet, the blip slowly getting closer is when a twitch in your hand just begins to show slightly. A few moments pass, and the blip is within a short distance from your location. It gets to where you are currently located and stops. And the blip doesn't move. A few moments pass, and the blip begins to move again, but continues on its path that it was going. And just continues until the blip is no longer in sight.
Before powering anything back on, I'm gonna do the bare minimum for the radar to like do a stronger radar burst. And I'm gonna try and do that just to see if there's anything else that the normal radar might have missed.
Okay, no problem. Give me a comtech.
All right. Three successes and a panic. All right. I drop an item.
Okay.
Motherfucker. Take your nap relief. I gave it to you.
Right.
Last one.
I don't know what I would have on me. I'm in the seat.
Yeah, this one's a bit of a strange one. We'll roll with it though.
But I dropped the nap relief. I probably have that in my pocket.
That's well, it's more kind of what you would have in your hand, because the panic rolls are kind of more geared for like when you're in combat and stuff like that. So it's kind of, but we'll compromise. You are able to get a stronger burst radar off. It takes a few minutes to kind of scan different sections of this ship station, and it's a relative big. It's not your size of Novgorod or anything like that. It's probably could house 30 people kind of thing, comfortably with extra rooms. But as the scan starts to go through, you get 10 life forms in cargo bay and nothing else.
Cryo bay or cryo bay?
Yeah, cryo bay.
Okay.
But you get 10 in there, but no other life form blips come through.
Okay. I will begin powering up the ship again. And is everyone in the bridge? Or I know Josh was in the bridge, but where's everyone else?
I'll be quarters because that's where my stuff
Same.
was.
Okay. I'll do on the PA to ask everyone to come to the bridge.
Gently message. Okay, goodbye.
As I begin the power up sequence for all the non-critical stuff in this ship.
Okay.
And while they are walking here, before they get here, I'll turn to Joshua and say, no one else was on the ship as far as I can tell, unless they have some very good cloaking stuff. We could destroy it if you were really wanting to do that. We could do that from with this ship.
No, we need a chance to get the evidence out there.
All right.
Well, if they get a chance to get the evidence, we'll see what happens.
All right.
Joshua, give me an observation roll, please.
Observation. 1 and 1 panic. So that goes up. Stress goes up by 1, right?
Yeah. No, you just roll.
No,
panic.
it only it depends on what happens during your panic.
Oh,
if it
okay,
goes
okay.
up.
Nope, I'm good.
Okay. As Tavin and you have this conversation, you kind of get out the seat to the rail or the light rail gun, and just as I glance out the window, that's when you see it. Not being picked up by the radar, but currently dead ahead of you is a ship.
I'll be like, Tavin, we got a ship that had, we got a ship, not a radar.
How long does it take for me and Andrea to get to the bridge?
I like a minute or two
It's like
to
1
kind
or
of
2
get
minutes.
down
Okay.
the ladders and stuff.
Can I see the ship that he's pointing out now?
Yes, you can.
The fact that it ignored radar, does it look like a military ship after a quick glance?
After a quick glance, you do not see any markings that would suggest military, but there's definitely a ship there.
Sneaky bitches.
I will immediately tell Joshua, get back in the fucking chair.
Mm-hmm.
And are they moving or are they just sitting there?
They are just sitting there, dead on with the front of your ship. Almost like a stare down.
How far away?
Probably talking 50 meters, 100 meters. Not that far.
Fuck, that's really fucking close. Okay.
Are we there yet?
Yeah, you would have got to the bridge.
Walk right into this.
Yeah, I will.
I'm gonna walk up to Tavin and be like, "Hey, can you comms them?"
Hey, you both should sit down just in case.
Okay,
And
but can you comms them?
And then after saying that, I will send out a comms just in that direction, saying, "Ship, please identify yourself."
A few seconds pass, and you do not get a returning message.
Okay, can I comms them?
if
I'll-
Avery allows it.
I'll let her. I'll hit the button so that she can try sending out a recording.
This is Colonial Marshal Carrigan Mackenzie on official marshal business. Please identify yourselves. And then I'm also going to look at Tavin and I'll be like, hey, you take those pills that Andrea gave you?
It's an injection. It's not an
It's an
injection.
Sorry.
injection.
Injection.
Put it to your thigh. It'll go in.
Did you do that? Did you do that?
I don't have an injector. She literally only gave me the stuff,
It's
and I'm
not an
kind of
injector.
focused on this right now. Do they respond? Tavin's kind of ignoring that. I'm zeroed in on this.
Yeah.
I'm going to look at Andrea and be like,
There's
Do they respond?
another few seconds pass, and once again, there is no response. However, Tavin, something does come through, and it is on the written communication device that you have, and it's a selection of letters that you recognize from your past. And it takes you a couple of seconds to kind of realize where you remember this. This is the secret code that you used while you flew with the Kronos. That each crew member used to identify themselves as a member of the ship.
Okay. I'm gonna take a wild guess. Is it Cooper's,
It is indeed.
the scientist? Okay. You all see Tavin like take a huge fucking sigh of relief, and then I will send my code back, identifying myself.
Okay. After that, you do get a message asking to dock with the ship.
I will turn to everyone else and say, it's a friend, it's someone I've known for a long time. We're fine. I will then give permission to dock, and I'll back away from the derelict ship so that we have perfect, like, ample room from it.
Yeah.
And then I will reach into my pocket now that the fire's dying down while they move into docking position, and I will take the auto injector and inject myself with the nap relief. Which, what does it do?
I'm sure
It gets rid of all of your stress
yeah.
and any
Reduce
pain that
stress
you
to
have.
0. Okay, good. I was at 6. I was
Yeah,
up to 6.
That's what I kept saying.
Okay.
Okay. So yeah, it's
Yeah, I will do that, and then I will make my way towards the airlock where they would dock.
no problem at all. Yeah, it's easy enough. You give enough room, and the ship is able to dock, no problem. You make your way to the airlock. Just as they step in, pressurize, and take off their helmet, and that's when you do see a more aged than you last remember seeing them, because it has been some time. Daniel Cooper kind of looks at you through the kind of airlock door window and gives a somewhat relieved smile towards you.
Evan is also smiling kind of from ear to ear at the relief that he's not about to be blown up.
So,
And once the airlock opens, I will give Daniel a big fucking hug.
he reciprocates the hug. And he kind of, at that moment, he kind of like takes a kind of step back to kind of almost as if just looking at you and taking everything in. And it just kind of gives a, you look like shit.
That's what happens when everyone else on the ship fucking leaves. I was wondering if you got my message.
Yeah, I got your message. We have things to discuss. Is there actually a
Oh, a lot's
marshal on this
happened
ship?
since. Yep.
Yeah. You've made big friends.
Are we all there?
Oh, if you followed, Tavin didn't say where he was going. He just kind of left everyone in the bridge unless you followed.
Probably not.
I'm gonna
I'll,
keep my eyes on the radar in case something else pops up.
I'll turn back him and say, well, she's not really a friend.
Fair enough, fair enough. But yes, I did get your message and we have some things to discuss. How much do you know about what you found? And why are you here? This location of all places.
Well, we know the Black Goo might be a military experiment. I'm guessing some type of super soldier serum that went wrong because, that's what the military does. We were following a trail and ended up here. There's something on this ship alive. It's not people.
Really?
I've got a sample of the black goo locked away in like 3 layers of airtight containers. It's been a lot, man. It's been a lot.
What do you mean that there's something alive on the ship but not people?
They look like giant fucking scorpions made out of like human flesh. It's really fucking scary. They're currently in some bodies in cryopods. We were debating calling the marshals or blowing up the whole ship.
Huh. Interesting. Maybe hold off the both of those. Might have to take a little look. There's a lot that you've got yourself wrapped up in. I'm also very confused as to why you're even wrapped up in this, but
I got offered a job to be a pilot. I needed the money, man. Man, after everyone left, Captain retired, you all went your separate ways. It's just me. Been just me for the most part, and unfortunately, I made the stupid decision thinking, hey, maybe Wayland Yutani's not as bad as they used to be. They're offering me $1 million. Nope, they're just as fucking bad.
still as naive as what you were all those years ago. Always looking for the best in people. Gonna get yourself killed that way.
Well, that's already almost happened multiple times since this trip started, so yeah, probably. But hey, when a friend asks you to do a job,
A friend? Are you talking about the doctor?
yeah,
Yeah. Never
yep,
trust those
he's here
doc
too.
kinds.
What? I didn't hear that.
Never trust those doctor types.
Eh. Gotta have some friends.
Right, well, can we go somewhere to talk? Because it's a lot.
Yeah,
that
come
I can
on.
share.
I'll introduce you to everyone else, and I'll describe everyone as I lead him to the bridge, being like, "Yeah, Doc, Joshua, we got a sociopathic Wayland Yutani agent, feels sociopathic at least, and an asshole marshal."
Okay. Yeah, that's easy enough to do as you are walking to the bridge. Everyone else, I'm having to do this sort of differently because I can't send anything in Discord, so I'm having to take a picture of my screen and then send you a picture of
You forgot Jamie, by the way, Tavin.
You forgot about Jamie. Also sociopathic. I've done nothing sociopathic about this.
Tavin, I
I'm
know
the
you're
nicest
scared
person.
of I know you're scared of dying, but everyone dies eventually.
That's just a fact.
You know
That's
what?
not even sociopathic.
What are you trying to? Is it something I could send?
Sorry, I've
Chris?
got a picture here. I'm just sending a picture of
Okay.
Daniel Cooper. I'll just send it in the
Okay.
Game Lawn information page. It's not the greatest copy, but
I will also describe Jamie and be like, "Yeah, I picked up a kid who works for me now, so not a one-man crew anymore, at least."
Picked up a kid.
Well, a kid stowed away on my ship, and I can't seem to get rid of him.
when you're describing
To make him go away.
when you're describing everybody else, he'll kind of like take that information in and not particular comment on anyone. But when you do mention Jamie and kind of like the reason why they're here and why they're still here and they won't leave, that's where he kind of has that. Man, I can remember when we found a young kid in the middle of space, took him on, wanted rid of them, and then they turned out pretty okay.
I get the irony, but I didn't stow away. I was dying, and you rescued me.
Yeah, but you also ate food, took up resources, had to teach you some stuff. Just don't be so hard on the kid. Good things can come of it. You grew up to be somewhat decent person. Few choices could have made better, but anyway, let's get this over with. And with that, Tavin and this new figure walks into the bridge where you all are. As you all look, you see early to mid 60s gentleman, grey hair, glasses, beard has that salt and pepper vibe kind of going on. He looks as if he tries to keep everything trimmed, but there's definitely wear on the face of many long sleepless nights and stuff like that. So a very weathered look, but still seems quite upbeat and sprightly for their age and tiredness. As he kind of walks in and gives a kind of friendly nod of the head and wave hello to all of you kind of in the crowd.
Hello.
I will get up, put my hand out. Marshal Carrigan Mackenzie, I understand you are a friend of Tavin's.
It's nice to meet you. I have been told that you are not friend of Tavin.
That's accurate.
Us again.
But it was a shock to hear that a marshal would be on this ship, but it is nice to have you on our side for once, I guess.
I beg your pardon?
Well, you know, marshals and deputies don't take kindly to those.
Marshals and what?
Deputies
Deputies.
don't take all that kindly to those that do salvaging work and the likes.
Salvaging is legitimate.
It's legitimate, but it's one of those occupations that, even though it's legitimate, salvaging's like you don't know what they're bringing back from salvaging ships. With I mean, so the marshals are usually still a bit like, although it's legal, don't quite like it getting put through stations.
It's one of those things with Carrigan where she's like, it's legal, don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Like they're doing a job, don't give a shit. So if that's all like that she's getting from it, she should be like, all I really care about is justice and protecting people. I'm a former Marine. As long as you're not breaking the law, I do not care.
Well, I can assure you that I am not one for breaking the law on my own accord. Sometimes things happen out in space. Sure, you can understand that not everyone can be the best of themselves all the time. And it'll kind of give another friendly nod as the attention kind of goes to the other two. I imagine Jamie hasn't came to the bridge. I imagine Jamie's probably still
Freaking out and hiding somewhere.
well, I'd probably just back at the kind of the quarters for where he is, just out the way. But yeah, it'll kind of turn to the both of you, and he'll extend a hand to you, Andrea.
Shake his hand.
And
Hello, I'm Andrea Maxwell, here representing Wayland Yutani. I understand that you are one of Tavin's associates, and welcome on.
as you say that you represent Wayland Yutani, he kind of makes a darting look towards Tavin. And he doesn't say anything, Tavin, but you get that feeling of you have Wayland Yutani on your fucking ship. Like, you have actively allowed a Wayland Yutani person onto here. But he does shake your hand back and says, hello, I am Daniel Cooper. Yes, I am.
I understand if you don't want to talk to me, you don't have to.
No, it's not that. It's just it's a little. Given Tavin's history with Wayland Yutani, I'm just more surprised than anything else that a representative of the company would ever be allowed anywhere near the ship as opposed to on it. And
There.
yes, so but it's nice to meet you, and hopefully
Again,
we can
don't push yourself.
very well. And then he'll turn and look at you, Joshua, and you haven't had that many interactions with not just Cooper, but anyone from Tavin's earlier days, because it was kind of probably not long after the crew had all kind of parted ways where you met Tavin. So you've had one or two interactions with him. You would have you would know the medic from the Kronos, which was Liam Fillin. That's probably how you would know Tavin, through that kind of thing. But he'll he doesn't actually approach you, he just kind of gives you that nod of hello as it
Gonna nod back.
and then he turns back to you, Tavin. Do you want to talk about what I know first, or do you want to catch me up to speed as to why you're all here?
Tavin will just instantly go into talking about in great detail everything that he's had to deal with at this point, and kind of goes off into tangents, but then tries to go back, and like he's not hiding anything because this is one of his oldest friends.
Yeah, that's very fair. Yeah, it just sits and kind of intently listens to everything that you have to say and everything that's happened. And when you finish, he's kind of just nodding, just wow, that's quite a journey you've had. Well, what I can tell you is I believe you might be right about the bioweapons that this goo is being used for. I haven't been able to find out or even figure out anyone in connection with it. I first came into knowledge of this about a year ago, when it had happened to come onto the station that I was currently at that point. And what it had done to a few people there was definitely eye-opening. But knowing that the USCMC is involved, that takes it to a whole new level. We knew they may have known about it, but to actively be involved, that's incredible. I always assumed that it would be something to do with Weyland-Yutani and everything that they usually get involved in, but that's and you're sure
Well,
that this is what they've been getting involved in?
Oh yeah, we found documents signed off by Carrigan's dad.
Wow.
They were actively working on it, and we actually got some files from this ship. We haven't looked at them yet, but it was also linked for the USCMC.
Well,
Colonel Sean Mackenzie. Do you know anything about John Bishop? It was John Bishop, right?
yeah,
John Bishop, yeah.
John Bishop, not in particular.
He's the one who was locking missiles onto the ship.
You know, after your good buddy Tavin threatened to vent him into space.
Hey, we don't know if John Bishop would have tried to kill us if Tavin didn't make that threat. I mean, there's a possibility. We don't know how deep this goes.
Okay. No, I don't know much. I would like to see the files and stuff that you have, and see if there's anything that could kind of dive in deeper. But
Who are you involved with?
I'm just an independent scientist. Once the crew went their own way, I was happily living a retired life, and this you chemical came into the station that I was residing on, and it just piqued my curiosity and intrigue, and a year
Do you know
rabbit
how?
hole, and we're here.
Do you know how it arrived on your station or who brought it?
I do. It was a smuggler that,
Is his name Lee?
yes.
That motherfucker.
Absolute son of a
God
bitch.
fucking damn it.
That man is the scum of the, well, I guess not Earth, because I don't know if he's been there.
It's always fucking Lee, man.
Lee's getting around. How is Lee getting around? How does he have so much of this fucking shit?
That is a question, but I think
Oh.
the more important question is, who are you that you want all of the records?
Just
Mm.
as I have been looking into this for the last year, it's more just curiousness to see what it is and why it's here. Like, as I said, there's quite a rabbit hole. Some people have said that it is a bioweapon that was discovered on some planet. Others seem to believe that it's an ancient alien creation that has found its way through time to here. So others say that it was something that wasn't supposed to do this, and it just happened to ruin lives. Who wouldn't be intrigued to try and figure this out?
There are a lot of people with interest in this, I'm sure.
And now
I-
knowing that Wayland Yutani, the USCMC, the Marshals, that just blows everything even bigger. The big ones are even looking into it.
I'm gonna I don't know this guy. I would like to either quietly say to Andrea or make some kind of eye contact of be like, can you look him up?
Nods.
Are you still tethered?
No.
Let the and the suits peel off.
The leash.
No, we're in
This
the ship
entire
now.
time they've just been tethered.
Yeah, we took our
Hilariously
suits
no.
off and tied the tether back.
Look, I don't need a Tommy leash all the time. I can find my way around the ship. It's fine.
It wasn't even about that.
Okay.
No, but for Ghosty it is.
Yeah.
I'm going to sit down in my chair and start looking through the files. Like, I'm not gonna say anything of what I'm reading, but I'm just gonna start looking through them.
Okay. No problem.
I'm going to leave the bridge momentarily.
Okay.
I will message you what I'm doing, Chris.
Okay. Cooper will probably just find a seat and like in the co-pilot or something like that, and just kind of sit patiently.
Like if he's
waiting.
looking around, he might notice at that point that there's like a small closet off to the side, which used to be full of equipment, which is now just open with a bed in it.
He'll notice, but he won't bring it up. He'll kind of look at it and think, "What the fuck is this guy doing?" But he will have an inquisitive kind of look while sitting, just soaking in the nostalgia of it's been many a year since he's been on this ship that they spent most of their adult life on. So he'll kind of just have a look around while kind of waiting for you to finish what you're doing. Andrea goes off. Carrigan, Joshua, is there anything you are wanting to do in this?
I'm not ready to give out loads of information to this guy. I don't know him.
Fair enough.
And just like Tavin, I introduced myself and he was basically like, "What's up, cunt?" So she's just like, "All right."
And at some point during the conversation, Joshua would have kind of snuck off the bridge. So when Andrea left, she probably would have noticed he was gone.
Okay. No, that's fine. Yeah, you're all able to kind of go off and do what you're doing. Are you wanting to go through what you're doing currently?
If somebody would go look for him, they just find him in his bunk with a little like pick viewer. He just left. He just left the bridge.
Okay, no, that's fine. I would probably say that Jamie would be in the room with you, but I would say that he probably senses that something is just off ever so slightly, and he isn't going to be the typical Jamie. He'll probably just kind of keep to himself. He'll probably keep to himself for a few minutes before leaving and kind of going towards like the kitchen area or something like that and kind of sitting up there. But it it'll probably be about 5-10 minutes, and Jamie does come back and without saying anything puts a prefab meal and a drink on your bedside table and then leaves again.
Yeah, Joshua's just gonna like lose his shit as silently as possible.
Fair enough. Yeah, you're free to kind of do that in your time. Andrea. While you are
Yeah, I'm looking him up, by the way.
Yeah.
If anybody was curious.
yeah. I was going to type it out to you, but I'm just going to just read it to you because
Yeah.
you are all good. You don't meta game. So you get a message back.
Yay.
Hold on. I want to have your message opened so I can. You do get a message back. Again, it doesn't go into major detail or anything like that, but at this point you're used to kind of just affirmative and things like that. you get a message back to say that message is received. They will look into coordinates you've provided, and they say that they are very interested in the information that you have passed on, and they will look to probe deeper into the origins of the information.
Hey.
As after you've read that message, you do get some time to kind of look up your database, and the information that you get is that Professor Daniel Cooper is 63 years old currently, has been a scientist for quite a few of the companies and the bioengineering and stuff like that. Nothing too major. It was never any like head scientist, lead scientist. It's almost as if he kind of just moved around, never really settling in. Until he was around 27, 28, when he started working on the Cronus ship. And from that point, information is scarce. It has a couple of arrivals in Novgorod, on Earth, on Luna, at Arceon, at different stations and stuff like that spread throughout. Last known location was Anchor Point Station. But other than that, there's not a great amount of information on the data. It's almost as if he's just not been around the last 7-8 years, almost.
Okay, and is there anything about Anchor Point that would point to something like what happened on Arceon happening there?
No, Anchor Point's this massive community hub. It
Okay.
can house up to 2,000 people. It is just this massive station. It's almost viewed as if it's like the original station that kind of brought everyone into this kind of century. This was kind of like one of the original space travel and deep space travel stations that housed the first colonists and stuff like that. So it's just a well-known kind of main hub where most companies have bases there. If you're able to live there, it's kind of just like a floating city. Like there's no one type of people that can like afford to live there or anything like that. So there's nothing that would draw any attention to it. It's you'd be more surprised if it was somewhere else. This is just generic.
Okay. And no information on where he was besides Anchor Point.
No, it's just kind of like sporadic pop-ups of, like, as I said, Novgorod, Earth, Luna, Sevastopol, stuff like that. But you can probably ascertain that to jobs. If Kronos has been a salvage ship, it's just where they've kind of docked to sell their wares, sell what they've found and salvaged and stuff like that. But these stations tend to have a kind of, before you can access, you have to kind of scan yourself in. So
Yeah.
that's why you have kind of like locations set up like that. But places that don't have that kind of security, it's hard to keep track of.
Yeah. Okay. And I will send along his current location so that records can be updated. That'll be helpful here.
Very well. Nope, you're able to do that. You can pass on any information that you have.
Yeah.
No problem at all. You'll receive a message back, just kind of again affirmative. Message received.
Look, I'm just trying to give as much help as I can.
Nope, that is completely understandable. Okay.
Kind of what that's. Other than that, Carrigan is still on the bridge.
That's
I did not leave the bridge.
Okay. Then
I'm gonna be a fly in Tavin's ointment.
I will return to the bridge.
Okay. As you head back and make it to the bridge, we are going to take our little 10-minute break right there. It was a perfect little time to stop. So, we will be back in 10 minutes. Go and grab refills, get to the bathroom, do what you need to do, stretch your legs, and we shall see you after the break. Where's my break button? There, it's there. We are back. Hope everybody enjoyed their little break, got everything that they needed, got their snacks, got their drinks, stretched their legs.
Had their existential crisis in the bathroom.
Yes, of course, the typical things that you go through on a daily basis.
Facts.
So, yes, we shall jump right back into it as we find ourselves back on the bridge where Andrea has again joined Carrigan, Tavin, and Tavin's old friend, Daniel, or Professor Daniel Cooper, who worked on Martha when it was known as the Cronus. And Tavin is currently going through the files that they'd pulled from the abandoned ship that they are still currently in, not necessarily orbit, but parked up next to. Is there anything in particular that you're looking for in these files, or are you just looking for...
I will look specifically for any reference to the black goo or what its chemical name was that I can't remember what it was called. And then anything relating to cryosleep and what if there's any relation to the people that are in cryosleep on those ships right now or on the ship right now, if there's any mention of that.
Okay. The things you find relating to the black goo or the chemical kind of just goes into details that you already have, kind of like things that you've witnessed, what it seems to do to people. A lot of the kind of files are almost like warnings not to have in like do not touch, do not have skin fucking touching shit.
In contact.
Yes. Like it appears that the effects of it are well known within the space kind of thing, like the people that have been transporting it and stuff like that. There is a file on transports that have came and went with the goo, and one name in particular does pop up of Lee. So it is even in these files, that Lee has a lot of, I would say that from the kind of logs, and it's strange because while you're looking through these files, there's a lot of things that come in and out of this like station. There's a lot of things that smugglers and salvagers and stuff like that, things that cannot be sold or pawned off on kind of law-filled stations, come through here, and nothing else really has an in-depth log of who brought it, who left with it, but this goo does. So it can only give you the thought that even these people knew how fucking dangerous this shit was, and that they wanted to know everyone who had came into contact with it, who had it, anything like that. So there's a decent amount, but the only name that's really popping out is Lee. Everything else, the names seem fake. But
He's too stupid to use a fake name.
Yeah, so it's just his name. The things that you do see about the cryo sleep and the cryopods, each time you get into a file, you'll start reading, and it'll talk about transporting of cryopods, but no matter what, once you get to like, as soon as you try and scroll through, the file is encrypted. So it's almost as if you can open the file, but reading the file is encrypting it, and you can come out the file, go back into the file, and it happens again. You can read the beginnings of it, and as soon as you try and read more, an encrypted message comes up.
Is there a way for me to unencrypt that? Or would I need specialized equipment for that?
You would need specialized equipment to be able to access this form of encryption. I would say that when the first time it came up, it would be the first thing you would try is trying like decrypt like to access it. But what you have does not get through this encryption, so you would need to get specialty equipment to be able to get access. But from the kind of opening kind of sentences of each file that you are able to kind of at least get the beginnings of, it talks about transportation of the cryopods. One, and it takes you a good while to kind of look through these files, but one does give an origin location to these cryopods, and that is Sevastopol Station.
Sevastopol. Okay. I want to make a copy of all the files directly onto the ship. And then I will forward the list of all the people who came into contact with the black goo directly to Carrigan if I can.
Yeah, that's no problem.
And say you might want to look for these people. Most of them are fake names, but hey, that dumbass Lee is still on there.
Yeah.
I will forward it to Montel, and I will forward it to whoever the acting deputy at Novgorod is right now to be like, hey, be on the lookout. And I will also, if I can, forward it to the bear and be like, hey, that asshole that you locked up for me, just so you know, everywhere he's been, got this fucking goo.
Yep.
And then I will explain what it said about the cryopods. It's all encrypted, and I can't break it with the equipment I got. And
May I see it?
I will, I will let her see it.
Yep.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, you're able to
Yeah.
access and have a
I
look.
will take the storage drive. leave the.
I am- I'm
Written
going
pen.
to stop her from doing that. I'm going to grab her wrist if she goes to try and take the storage drive out of the chip.
Your technology doesn't do anything for this encryption, sir.
I'm going to step up really close behind Tavin and say, remove your hand from Andrea immediately.
Let's not escalate this.
Will
We're
remove
okay.
my hand.
I'm gonna take the storage device. Look at the fridge.
Okay. Where are you going with the storage drive?
I'm going to forward everything that I can to Jack.
Okay. You are
Look, I said I was going to.
no, that's fine. You are able to
And
do
anything that I can't unencrypt on my own, that is also going to them because they can definitely do it.
that. Yeah, no, you're able to send everything across, no problem at all. I would say a few moments pass and you do not receive any reply message.
That's fine.
Chris, did you get the message I sent you? And then
Yep.
to add on to that, I would also just like to check, see if I've gotten anything from when we sent out messages when we first got on the ship.
Yep, no problem. Yeah, you're able to do that. And what was the message that you? Oh no, when you first got onto the ship this time
When we
around.
first got onto the ship, yeah, we were like sending this happened, this happened.
Yeah.
John Bishop is chasing, blah blah blah.
As you check, no messages have been brought back from Montel or anyone else on the kind of higher up scale.
Fair enough. Fair
But
enough.
you are able to do what you asked for.
Okay.
Everything goes through smoothly and fine.
Beautiful, beautiful.
But
I'm just gonna kind of park myself between the other people in this room and Andrea, kind of cross my arms in a what I feel like is a very clear statement of touch me, see what happens.
Tavin is going to sigh in exasperation, sit down in the captain's chair, and without looking at anyone, say, will you all please leave the bridge? And just start looking through his copy of the files again.
I mean, once the transfer's done, I give you back the storage device. We don't have the technology to unencrypt those files. I'm sending it to someone who can unencrypt those files. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Tavin is ignoring Andrea.
Okay. Yeah, I'll respect what he asked and leave the bridge.
Kerrigan?
I'll follow Andrea, but I'll kind of pause and be like, just a reminder, kiddo, adults don't put their hands on other people. And then I'll walk out.
I will lock the bridge after she leaves and turn to Cooper.
Oh, you
I'm
didn't kick
hoping
Cooper
he
out?
stayed. No.
Well, you told everybody to get out.
No, everybody doesn't include his friend.
Cooper has not left.
Kind of hoping that was kind of the intention.
Yeah, Cooper's on the other side of
And
the
the
door
attitude he was giving.
No, Cooper hadn't left. Cooper, when you kind of that whole situation, and then after that situation, telling everybody to leave, Cooper was kind of still sitting in the chair with like just the awkwardness of what the fuck have I came into, what is happening on this ship and stuff, but he hasn't left. He is still kind of just sitting there in a what the fuck.
I'll turn to him and man, I need you to level with me. Who the fuck you working for? You got a ship that faked a radar sensor and then hid yours.
Kind of gives a it gives a sigh, but it's not a you got me kind of thing. It's just that kind of like as if things have been held in for quite a while and hasn't wanted to speak when everybody else that he doesn't know has been around. So he'll kind of give a sigh and yeah, look, I'm not working for anyone. Everything I've said is true. This stuff turned up one day, and when we started hearing the rumors, the scientist in me got curious. The ship that I'm on, once you start to see just how deep this can go, I'd suggest getting one. Because I didn't think the big ones like Weyland-Yutani and the fucking military were involved in this. But the people that have been involved in this aren't the type of people that you want to know where you are. So shit get real. And you have falling into some deep shit. All for money.
It wasn't supposed to be like this, man. It was supposed to be hey, go here, talk to this person, come back. Hey, go here, look at this ship, salvage it, come back.
Well, whoever sent you has well and truly fucked you.
Well, I, Avery, do not remember the guy's name.
Jack
but
Powell.
I feel like Jack Powell. I'll say it was a Weyland-Yutani guy named Jack Powell.
Well, I would keep your feelings of Weyland-Yutani at the top of your list because I don't know how, but if they're sending agents out here, they must know something. They wouldn't just send someone out here without knowing even a little. Like, they see this as an asset, and they're going to figure something out. And I just don't know if we want anyone finding out what this stuff can do more than who already know.
I think we're past that point because Marshall just decided to send them military secrets. Or let her send them military secrets or whatever the fuck this shit is. I'll show him the encryption. Do you have the equipment to get past this?
He kind of takes a look and then kind of looks at you as if, yeah, like, I'm a scientist, not a computer nerd. Like,
Yeah, well, you have a ship that can fake fucking radar.
yeah, it's a button that I press.
You don't even know how it works, do you?
No. They just said press this button when you want to be hidden. Cost a pretty penny too.
I am going to make another copy of the stuff of all the files, and stand up and say, since I took over the ship, I've learned a lot about it. I even made modifications to this ship that used to not exist. You might have the equipment if it sounds like how expensive this would have been. So maybe we should go over to your ship and I can know if you have the equipment for this.
Yeah, you're it's easy enough to do. You're able to get to or go down to the airlock, get across into.
And I will lock the bridge behind me as well.
No problem at all. When you get onto the other ship, it's a lot newer. Like there's a few technological upgrades and improvements from your ship. There isn't anything that would be able to access this type of encryption on his ship, but there is a much more. There's some useful items on this ship that you could use, such as bioscanner and a deep field radar and stuff like that could come in useful. But other than that, this is more geared towards scientific research as opposed to. This is basically a mobile laboratory.
Well, we can't do anything about the encrypted stuff. Let's hope Wayland-Yutani sends Andrea the stuff back. However fucking well that'll go. And have you ever actually gotten to examine the black goo yet?
Not personally, but I have seen it and seen the after effects of it. And it'll lead you to this ship. It's strange when you're on it, Tavin, that your ship is very much corridors, rooms, different things in different rooms kind of thing. this ship seems to be, there's one main kind of room that has lab equipment and the bridge. It's all one massive kind of floor. And then there's an offshoot corridor that leads to a couple of bedrooms, a kind of kitchenette area, and an escape pod. It's limited in what it has, but what it makes up for is top of the line kind of lab equipment. So at the moment, he leads you kind of into the kind of lab space where there's a lot of things kind of working and going, and microscopes and stuff like that. And he'll lead you over and he'll go, the only thing that I've been able to get from this is this little, and it brings out a kind of little vial, or not a vial, it's like a petri dish, and you do see that there is the tiniest amount of this black liquid inside it, and he puts it under the microscope and says, take a look and just see how weird this is. And
I'll look through.
as you look, this liquid under a powerful microscope isn't just a liquid. This liquid looks to be alive. It's as if it's filled with these tiny, tiny... It's not even if it's like tiny creatures. It's just little moving parts. There's no features to them. It's just, even in this little drop, it's just hundreds and thousands of little moving things that make up this liquid. And
I'll turn back to him. I feel like I probably should have asked this of someone smarter than me a while ago, but do you think airtight containers can hold this stuff?
I mean, I've been able to have this just in a petri dish and it's been fine. It doesn't seem to be able to move. It just... I think this is why in most cases you're told not to touch it, is because when it comes in contact, that's when it is able to. But it doesn't seem as if it's able to kind of move and get out and do things. So I imagine you should be fine. How much do you have of it?
On the first station we went to, which was Arceon, right?
Yes.
We found a lot of it, and there were people who were infected. We found a bunch of paperworks with it, and yeah, we took some. I don't even remember why we took some. I don't know who we were planning on giving it to. And I put it in an airtight container, and then put that one in another container, and then strapped that down.
Okay.
We've got more than you, but I can't tell you an exact amount.
Okay. Well, so long as you keep it safe and kind of store it correctly, you should be fine. Because here's something else that will blow your mind, and it's kind of suggests you to look back into the microscope, and as you do, it takes out like it's almost like a spray can of like hydrogen, so like very, very, very cold kind of
liquid hydrogen.
Yeah, and he drops a small amount into this petri dish, and the the liquid goes mental. Like it just starts the creature or the things within it just ramps the movement up, even though it's not necessarily moving within the petri dish. These little things within the liquid just start barreling within, as if creating an energy source that floods into them.
Well, I'll be honest, that means nothing to me, man, what you just showed me.
It just means don't put it in really, really cold conditions, you know?
Okay.
Like,
I'll
don't allow it to be in, like, space, you know? Like,
good to know. Fuck, man, I don't know what to do now.
well, look, it'd be helpful if I can maybe see some of the stuff that you got from Arceon. Like, you said you have paperwork. Maybe something can come from there that might kind of help us out. I also want to get onto this station and have a look at what you said you found in these cryopods.
I would be careful about that. We found records that someone might have been here about an hour before we were, so as far as I can tell, there's no one else on the station, but also you tricked my radars, so you know. I don't know if it's possible for someone to have individual equipment that does that, but yeah.
No, that's
When I said someone was there an hour ago, this game doesn't have insight. Is there a way for me to check to see if he reacted to that?
I would say go with observation.
Observation. Okay.
Okay.
One success.
It doesn't quite like the reaction that he kind of gives is more of like who would be kind of out here kind of thing. Like it's not like it doesn't give off as if
More
like he knows or
surprise
anything
that
like that. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
it's kind of like an indifferent like huh, that's kind of weird. Like a similar
and
kind of feeling that you guys got of why would this
uh-huh.
be used like an hour before we got here kind of thing.
And there's no atmosphere in the ship, and those things, if they react the same way to the cold, they were in cryopods. So, if whatever the things we saw in those cryopods react the same way to the cold, and I don't know, they might be waking up soon. I don't know if it's a good idea to go on there, man.
Right. Look, let's do this. You go back and get your files. Have a comb through them, see if there's anything worth. I'm gonna go dock in here. Just go and have a little look. Get my curiosity out the way. And then we can go over and see what's what. But you can't say that there's stuff in these cryopods and expect me just to leave them there without looking.
forgot what it's like to be around a fucking scientist. Okay. All right, man. It's your ship. I'm not gonna tell you what to do.
So yeah, you're able to get back across onto your ship. Everything's pressurized, so you're just kind of walking. There's nothing you really need to do. I mean, you're still in your suit, obviously, but you make it back, and within a couple of minutes, Cooper has undocked and made their way start making their way around to dock with the abandoned ship that you're currently in.
As he's doing that, make a scan, doing a tight scan like I did before of the cryo bay. I want to see if all 10 dots are in the same spot still.
They are, yes. They have not moved.
Okay. And then I'm just gonna go to the bridge. And I'm not flying away, and I already looked through all the fucking files, so I'm just gonna...
No, it meant the files that you got from Arceon.
Oh, I'm not fucking looking through that. That shit's covered in black goo.
That's fair.
He's fucking insane for thinking that. I'm not doing that. I'm just going back to the bridge.
Totally fair. Yeah. You make your way to the bridge. Joshua, you are... all this time you have been in your bunk. Jamie, without knowing anything, has kept distance, kind of been in the kitchen area away. Is there anything that you are looking to do?
Yeah, after he has after he kind of loses his shit for a few minutes, he's gonna go take a shower and kind of start trying to get his head back together, and then he's gonna wander put a shirt on and kind of get himself back together and walk out to Jamie and be like, "Thanks, kid. Appreciate it."
Yeah, it kind of just gives a kind of nod and smile. Like you get the sense that it doesn't know why, but he understands that something isn't kind of all right. And he's just trying to... he's awkward. He doesn't know what to do. He's just trying to... he's just being empathetic, really. Like he's a kid. He's seen that somebody might not be their usual self, and is just kind of like try to keep distance.
So I'm gonna look at him and be like, "Hey, I know you stowed aboard for an adventure, but we're in some shit. So you might want to send a message to your dad that you're okay and you're doing all right, but you might not be home for a while."
Yeah. When we were back in that place, I used some of the money that Mr. Tavin gave me, and I got a message out. I didn't hear anything back though, so but I told my dad where I was and what I was doing. I hope he's okay though.
Yeah, I'm sure he's fine. I'm just saying that we're going into some deep water, so you're either gonna need to stay on the ship or try and keep your head down, because I don't know what's coming. So
I'll do whatever I need to do. I'm sure Mr. Tavin will keep me right, but I'll...
So do you know how to put a spacesuit on and everything? You got that all figured out?
Yeah, like I have my own one that I use when I'm helping my dad, so it's not fancy or anything like that, but it lets me do things.
Okay. You Joshua's trying not to be awkward. He's like, look, I just want to make sure you can take care of yourself, Jamie.
I know, like, I know I'm in the way, and that everyone's just trying to be nice, but I'm gonna do my best to try and be helpful and not be in people's way. Mr. Tavin made it very clear that I shouldn't have done what I did, but
Yeah, well, yeah, you shouldn't have snuck on board, but you're not in the way, Jamie. I want to make sure that you like, have you learned the ship systems and everything, or you just been like mopping the floor?
I've just been doing cleaning stuff and making sure that everything is good and that kind of stuff. Mr. Tavin's been very busy, so he's not been able to.
I got a feeling we're gonna need somebody who's on the ship, so I'm gonna talk to Tavin about kind of giving you a rundown on how to get the ship prepped and ready for like emergency launches and shit. Because I don't know how to say this. We're in some shit, and I don't want you getting. I don't want anything bad to happen here. So I think it's time that we start kind of giving you some real training on how to like survive out here other than mopping floor. So, do you know any first aid stuff?
Not really. Like, I know how to kind of deal with like small cuts and stuff, but
Okay. Well, the next time we have to like transit somewhere where we don't need cryo, I think you and I need to kind of work together and kind of give you some tips. And then I think I'm going to talk to Tavin about giving you a rundown on ship systems, because if we get into some shit and we need to get out of here quick, it would be useful having you kind of like having stuff. Keep the engine warm, I guess, is what I'm trying to say.
when you see that, kind of not so much like say what you're wanting them to do, but when you kind of say to him about getting that little bit of like a responsibility, you do see that his expression does kind of brighten up a little, as if like getting that sense of feeling like part of the ship kind of thing, like, and he kind of just has that little bit of a kind of brighter vibe kind of coming off. Is that yeah, yes, anything that I can do to help, then yeah, I'll do my best to learn.
Yeah, I'm just gonna kind of like grab a shoulder and kind of give him that like look at him like, you got this, kid. And then I'm gonna walk out and try and find Tavin.
Yeah. As you kind of turn and walk out, you do hear a little whisper of "I got this," and as you kind of walk out, and head to the bridge, where is the door closed, Tavin?
The door is definitely closed and locked right now.
Yeah. So you get to the bridge, and the door is currently closed and locked.
Yep. I'm gonna go try to find Carrigan and Andrea and see what the hell's going on.
Okay. You kind of where the bridge is kind of like you would go by the floor with the kitchen area, and then it goes to the floor where the bunks are. So it takes you kind of a minute or two. But Carrigan and Andrea, you in the bunk or where are you?
Probably, I wherever I could be that I gave her the background on his friend that I got from the database.
Yeah, you'd be able to kind of, if you've got your kind of like your data link
Oh, the
thing,
laptop.
then you'd be able to kind of be wherever you want. But
Okay.
wherever you are, Joshua is able to locate you, and
Just kind of knock on the door or whatever and poke my head in. Hey,
Hey.
you know where Tavin is?
He kicked us out the
Be-
bridge and locked the door.
Off being an asshole somewhere. Put his hands
he's
on
probably
Andrea.
on the bridge. It's fine. We're fine. Okay. Are you okay, Joshua?
Yeah, just needed a shower.
Understood.
Spacesuit, just
Yeah.
Anyway, I was gonna find out what happened as what was going on. I stepped out.
Let's see. He couldn't encrypt some stuff, shared all the information with that Daniel guy. And then when Andrea went to get the storage device, put his fucking hands on her like he owned the shit.
He does own the ship.
I didn't say ship.
Oh, you said shit. Sorry.
Forgot that he's here being paid by Andrea's people. Like we're the untrustworthy people here.
I just thought that if we sent it to someone with more computing ability, that they could, clear the encryption faster.
Yeah, and he's under contract to you. I mean, I don't like
Yeah.
Wayland Yutani, but he's under fucking contract to you. What does he do? Grabs her by the wrist, Joshua.
I wonder if he read the contract. It's fine.
Okay, so Tavin needs to work on his people skills and keeping his hands to himself.
It's okay. We're fine.
I'm sure if he did anything, you probably would have knocked him on his ass.
I don't know that I have that strength. I'm gonna be honest.
Pretty sure he meant me.
Oh,
Yeah, Carrigan
Carrigan
guy.
definitely. I don't think I could shoot him either.
No, shooting him would be bad because none of us can fly this damn ship.
Yeah. But that would be my go-to response. I'm not gonna lie.
What do you know about Daniel?
I don't know shit. I know the only reason I know anything is I met his former crew's medic and a couple of his other buddies, but I don't know nothing about Daniel.
Okay.
Well, would you like to see the background on the database?
No. Whatever information we got on whatever. Does Daniel have any information on the goo or whatever the fuck those things in the pods were?
He didn't tell us if he did.
No, I mean, he knows that pretty much Lee has been connected to it almost every fucking time it shows up somewhere.
So we got to go find Lee.
I mean, Lee should still be on Alba, but I messaged the bear.
Everything points to Sevastopol Station.
Isn't the one that Jack said was destroyed?
I mean,
I wasn't there.
Destroyed has many different possibilities. There could still be something there.
So that's suit speak for we don't want you to go there because we're going to say it's destroyed or what, Andrea?
Jack's usually fairly straight with me. He might actually mean destroyed. He might also mean that most of it's destroyed and you'd have to be in,
like this one?
Yeah. He might mean this. Or he might mean just bits and pieces everywhere and there's nothing there. He hasn't said go there, but he also said that whatever we find here would point us to where we would need to go next.
So, Sevastopol.
Yeah.
Probably.
Great. All right, well, I guess whenever Tavin unlocks the bridge, I'll go have a conversation with him about keeping his hands to himself.
Dude, like, do you need more time?
No. Why?
If we found your wife's dead body. with a
Yeah, we got
little
work to do.
Flesh bug.
I
Fair enough.
mean,
Carrigan, you know what the job is.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Be fine. It's not the first time I've been downrange with a tragedy.
do you
But-
need to contact anyone back home?
No.
Okay.
Would she
But-
have been on Sevastopol?
No, I haven't talked to her in like a year or two.
Fair enough.
We last conversation we had wasn't the best.
Mm.
So it was kind of a shock to see her there, but buddy, it is what it is. We got a job to do, huh?
Yeah.
All right.
If you need to talk to anyone, though.
Yeah, no worries. The other thing before I forget, we need to start getting Jamie trained up because we're in some shit. So
Real.
I'm gonna talk to Tavin about getting them ship competent, and then maybe the rest of us can kind of get them general skill set. Teach them how to shoot. Maybe I'll teach them how to patch up a hole or two.
Get him into some better physical shape. He's like a freaking baby.
I mean, he's like
How old
17.
is he? Like 17. I thought he was pretty young.
He's like 16, 17 years old.
That's not insane for being on a ship for your first time, though.
Yeah, but you're on a ship filled with military black ops projects, corporate conspiracy theories, and now weird scorpion spider thingies.
I got a question for Game Mother that I don't know if you have an answer for.
Yes.
Is the age of adulthood in this universe 18 or 16?
16.
16.
Actually, you'd probably find that in some places, date of adulthood could go as low as 14, but you're talking
When
in certain colonies of a tighter
could you have joined the USCMC?
14.
16? 14?
14.
Then yeah, I'd be like, I mean, I've already been in the Marines for 3 years by the time I was his age.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, he grew up on a space station, Carrigan, with a dock worker for a dad.
That's fair.
So yeah, I'm gonna
He needs some training.
go find Tavin and have a conversation with him.
I will go find Jamie and make
That's
him PT with me.
I'm
Okay.
gonna do some paperwork. You guys have fun.
I'm on my way out. I'm gonna kind of like hysterically whisper under my breath. Hopefully, I don't know if he's got a muscle mommy fetish, but we'll find out.
What? Wait, what does that mean?
No, I didn't say nothing. Then I'll just walk out.
Kerrigan, what does muscle mommy mean?
Oh, it's about me. Don't worry about it.
Okay. Do you think? Okay. I'm gonna do some work. You have fun.
All right.
Joshua, where are you going to look for Tavin?
In his quarters.
Okay.
Or his closet that he calls his quarters.
So you're going to go to the bridge.
Pretty much.
Yeah. Okay.
See if it's still locked.
You get to the bridge. The door is locked, but there is a communication system that you can use to try and get attention of anybody that is in there.
I'm gonna punch the button.
I'll open the camera because it's like the one camera I have in the ship is right outside that door.
Yeah.
And if I see it's Joshua, I'll just open the door.
Yeah. Door opens, Joshua. You're able to enter.
And
Yeah.
Tavin's sitting in the captain chair looking at like star maps figuring out like where that one station is and like how far it would be travel there and doing stuff like that.
I'm gonna take a seat in the co-pilot's chair and just kind of spin towards him. I'm just kind of look at him.
No problem.
It will. It's gonna take a few seconds for him to notice because he's focused, but then he'll turn and say, "Yes."
So, you want to tell me how your bridge meeting went?
Say again. Your mic was. I couldn't really understand you.
You want to tell me how the meeting went?
Poorly,
Yeah.
kind of. Found
Kind
a
of.
list of potential people carrying black goo. Gave that to Carrigan. I couldn't open some of the files, and Andrea decided to send all of it to Weyland-Yutani, and Carrigan decided to let that happen.
And I assume you tried to stop her?
I didn't feel like it was a good idea to let Weyland-Yutani have a lot of military secrets that are probably on those files, but hey. It was kind of a knee-jerk reaction, and I thought about it, and Carrigan, did the menacing thing, so...
Yeah, she does that a lot, kind of well. So you're gonna keep your hands to yourself, I take it?
We'll see what happens.
No. Okay. Remember the conversation we had about people skills, Tavin?
Hey, remember all the bullshit I've dealt with since
Yeah,
you were like, hey, you want a job?
Look, okay, that's fair.
It's
That's fair.
taken all of my fucking willpower to not leave your asses on this ship.
Okay, that's
Or
fair
no.
too. Like,
in any fucking place we've gone to, it's taken most of my willpower to not say fuck it and leave all of your asses on that ship. Anywhere we've been.
I
So I am
appreciate that.
sorry that I am, at my fucking edge and lashing out in small ways. I grabbed her wrist. I didn't fucking punch her in the face.
Whoa. Calm down there. Dial it back. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, like, I get it. You're under stress. But, like, couldn't you, like, did something on the console to, like, intercept the transmission or redirect it?
No,
if you're gonna, like,
I don't have
you
that
could have been
kind
more
of equipment.
subtle. Because, like, I mean, I get it. You're stressed. We're all stressed. Trust me. Like, what I saw on that, like, yeah, I get it. I'm just saying, like, I'm just A1, I'm checking in with you, and B, like, trying to, like, smooth everything over. I'm not saying you're a dick or anything. I'm just saying, like, I understand why you feel the way you feel. I'm just like, let's not put our hands on people unless we absolutely have to. That's all I'm saying. And I appreciate you haven't left us. I didn't know what we were getting into. I got approached for a job. I was like, hey, no pilot. I was like, I thought of you. Like, it was, had I known, I'd have fucking asked somebody else. Because this shit, I don't even want to be here right now. I don't want to A, run from the military. B, I don't want to find my dead wife's fucking body in a cryo tube. So yes, I get it. I get it. But we're in it now, and we need to figure out how to get the fuck out of it. And we can't do that if all of us are a hair's breadth away from A, leaving us on the planet, B, kicking each other's asses, or C, not trusting each other. Oh, and we really need to talk about Jamie when we're in a second, but I think we need to go to the Sevastopol station. I talked to Carrigan and Andrea, and it seems like that's where the trail's leading. So I was going to come up and talk to you. Like, do you know where that is or heard of that at all?
Yeah, that's what I was looking into right when you walked in. It was in the files that we've downloaded. It's where those cryopods came from with whatever is inside of them.
All right. Well,
and looking at it, it's about 22 days to travel from here.
do we have supplies for a 22-day hike?
Yeah, we got enough food, and worst case scenario, one, two, three people go into cryo sleep. That's even more food for whoever doesn't,
Okay.
But
cool.
we got plenty of food that no one would need to. But after that, we would need to go somewhere for food and fuel.
Okay. Well, if that's where the evidence is leading, I think we should go there. But yeah, I think we should also start talking about training Jamie.
What do you mean?
Well, how many times have you had to run to the ship to get it fired up so that we can get our asses out?
Fair enough. More than I've done in the last 4 years.
Yeah. So I think over the journey, if we can give Jamie a shot at a rundown of ship systems and some overall survival skills, it wouldn't be a bad idea having him kind of being like, we got people trying to kill us, or there's weird shit going on. Do you want to make sure the engine's hot?
A good idea. It's a good idea.
All right. Well, see, I'm helpful. Yes, I've almost gotten you killed several times. I get that, but I also got a good idea every once in a while.
I will say, right now we're not going to leave immediately. Cooper decided to take his ship to go investigate those things in the cryopods,
Okay.
and he's smart. He's one of the smartest people I've ever met. I'm sure he'll be fine, but I'm gonna wait till he's off that ship before I leave his ass.
You sure he ain't gonna blow it up?
I don't think so. He doesn't understand how the systems on his ship work, let alone a massive ship like this. He's a buy it and follows the user manual and doesn't actually know how the systems work.
Ah, okay. That I don't know how that works. Shouldn't you know how to run your systems?
He knows how to run them. He doesn't know how they work or why they do the things they do. Or if something broke on his ship, he'd probably be fucking stranded.
Just to him on the ship, he ain't got no crew?
As far as I can tell, it's not a big ship. It's basically one giant room. It's a mobile lab. It's not a ship like this.
All right. Well, if you trust him,
I do.
I trust you. Hey, well, I'll trust you to chart the course, and I'm gonna go figure out something to do. Because, hey, do we have any more information on the goo? Do we? Carrigan and I talked a little bit about it, but
yeah, Cooper showed me some stuff. Seems like as long as you don't touch it, it's fine. It doesn't need to be in an airtight container or anything like that. And cold actually, instead of slowing it down and killing it, makes it faster and stronger, I guess. Yeah, he put some liquid nitrogen or liquid hydrogen on it, and it fucking went wild.
so don't expose it to vacuum.
That would probably be a pretty bad idea, yeah.
That's good to know.
And
So,
he didn't know anything
cold
about
good,
the cold bad for it.
Cold bad because it makes it
because it
you
makes
said
it's
it makes
good
it-
for it. It's good for it. It's bad for us to expose it to cold.
right. So then one would assume fire bad
I don't know.
for it.
I have no idea. I didn't even think to ask him. He only had a small amount, so he might not have tested anything that could possibly kill it.
Yeah, we'll put a pin on that. All right. Chart course, do what you gotta do, and then I'm gonna get my gear ready and kind of look over what we got. I'm running low on a few things, so I'm gonna restock my med kit and clean my gun.
All right. When he leaves, I'm gonna do a scan of the ship to see if I can see where Cooper is on it. See if he's still in the cryo bay, if he's like on his ship, like see if I can see that. You're muted.
Sorry. Joshua, as you finish your conversation with Tavin and leave, you do hear kind of like from somewhere in the ship, crying Jamie, while you also hear a Carrigan tell him to keep up. Tavin, you do a quick radar scan of the ship. You do see the 10 lined up life form blips in the cargo bay, and you do see one other. You watch it for kind of like a minute or so, and with each blip you do see this 11th one sort of moving between the other 10, giving you reason to believe that it's Cooper just kind of looking at each. It is a very ordered movement going from one to another, as that's happening.
I mean, I already know the course on where we're going, but I want to make sure that he gets off this ship before we leave. So I'm just gonna kind of keep watching that and wait till he like gets to his own ship.
No, that's no problem. Well, we shall quickly move over to Carrigan. You are currently putting Jamie through his paces. He has complained, he has moaned, he's asked to stop, he's attempted to stop, but effectively he is still...
This is what happens when you stow away on a ship. You have been recruited. If you didn't want to work, you shouldn't have gotten on the ship. Come on.
At this point,
Come on, Jamie.
He can't even reply. It's just heavy
Puffing.
breathing of that kind of like this is the most amount of movement in kind of created gravity that he has ever had to exert himself upon. And
I'm gonna say a thing to him. I'm like, come on, guys, come on, guy, make that 1,000 credits I spent on you worth it, dude. Come on.
that kind of gives him that kind of like confused kind of look as he's trying to push
I won't
himself.
explain it unless he asks.
Yeah. Or he cannot get words out, so he just has this kind of like confused look as he is fighting with everything to try and keep his legs moving, trying to get his breathing under some form of control, but he is huffing and a puffing. What I need to do though,
Is he gonna outperform me like Andrea
we don't
did?
know. I mean, probably not, just on the
Alright.
basis that his agility and his strength and that really isn't all that fucking great. So, we'll do is I don't quite have a card made up for him, so we'll have a game of rollies, just a D20.
Okay.
It's slash R into it.
Well, I can just do the dice
Yeah.
roller and
Yeah,
hit
I'm
the
just gonna do
thing,
that.
right?
Yeah.
Oh no, it's not terrible. Little shit. Oh,
Well,
good. Good.
as you run for, I mean, it makes it like a good 10-minute run as these are kind of gone through. Like some of you're staying on one floor and you're kind of using the loop of the corridor and timing like the cargo bay that has things being removed and just using the space. It's about 10 minutes in when you start feeling kind of like your heart rate's getting to a good point and that kind of stuff. You're trying to make a point, but it's and as you're kind of going around and you're going and going and you're going around this, like there's like a thing in the center of this cargo bay as you're kind of running loops around it, and it's after a couple of loops around where you realize that there's only one set of footsteps that you can hear as you're going round and round and round, and you look behind you and there's no JB, and you kind of start heading back, and face down, passed out, is a JB, just
Covered in vomit.
covered in vomit, heavy breathing, just done, just laying there.
From the doorway, I'm gonna be like, I don't miss those days.
I'll kind of slap his face a little bit and be like, hey, buddy, come on, Jamie, hit the showers, bud.
It just lets out this. It's not even a sound. It's like a injured grunt. Is like everything just sort of gets expelled from him. Is like,
all right, get some electrolytes in you, have a snack, hit the showers. We're gonna do this again tomorrow, hopefully for longer.
As he tries to pull himself to his feet, you saying we'll get out there tomorrow does elicit a very loud cry as he does begin to sob as he makes his way back to the kind of bunk and shower area.
And I'll just kind of yell after him, it gets easier the more you do it.
Yeah,
She lies.
there's no reply except for wailing, which resonates throughout this ship.
Just kind of like a Carrigan. You ain't got no like gummy bears or fruit snacks in your cargo pants?
No, because you get all hot and sweaty and they get like melty. It's gross.
I mean, that's fair. So I talked to Tavin. We're about 22 days out.
All right.
Apparently, from everything he got, Sevastopol is where we need to go. So I guess that's where we're headed.
All right. You know, Andrea messaged her people. I messaged mine. I'm waiting for stuff back. If I have my agent on me, I'll check it to see if I have any emails while I'm talking to him or
Nothing
communication,
yet.
whatever it's called. And I'll straight up, because it was never really explained. I'll just be like, do you know why Tavin decided to grab her?
He was worried about the transfer. He didn't want certain things getting out, but Tavin's afraid. He's not used to this and reacted on impulse.
I mean, he's afraid and reacted on impulse, but then he gave every bit of information we've had to some guy who managed to get nose to nose with us. Don't you think that's a little suspicious? Like, how did this Cooper guy know where the fuck we were?
I'm assuming, like most of us, Tavin sent a message to people he trusts.
Okay, but like, he was just in the fucking neighborhood? Come on, man.
I mean, don't get me wrong. It's odd, but I mean, some of the stuff we've seen and done, it's not unheard of that you could roll up on something.
I'm just saying, after finding out that my fucking father was tracking me and sending my information to the USCMC, why is Tavin's good old buddy just randomly where we are?
I don't think it was random. I think it was, hey, found some shit. Might need some help. So if you're in the area, kind of deal.
I don't know. Suspicious to
I
me.
mean, everything is suspicious to you. You could see a grandma with a cane feeding pigeons, and you'd be sus of that.
Yeah, I would, because why are there pigeons on this fucking space station?
You just made my point, Carrigan. Everything is sus. And don't get me wrong, you're not wrong. Like, Andrea, how much do we know about who she's communicating with? How much do you know about who I'm communicating with? Nobody.
She's communicating with Wayland Yutani, which is not
Right.
ideal. However, you were all hired by Wayland Yutani. Like, the information has to go back to them.
Information, not all the information. Well, look, I get what you're saying, but it's
he spilled his fucking guts to this dude, gave him free reign of everything. I didn't even trust my own fucking dad. You know what I'm saying? Like,
that's because, well, your dad's a former general, colonel, whatever,
Colonel.
and you thought he was retired, so like, obviously you're not going to trust him. But like Tavin, David or whatever the hell, Daniel or whatever his name is, probably one of the guys that picked him up. So of course he's going to trust him. You recovered him when he was floating in space, I think. Would be my assumption. So I mean, yeah, he's going to trust him. I'm not justifying it, but I'm just explaining it. Me, I don't know what the hell's going on. Like I was like, here, I got recruited to do a thing, to find a thing, and then the thing has become exponentially more dangerous than what we initially thought. So, and me personally, I'm ready to tell Jack to shove it up his ass, but I can't.
What if you want to get paid?
Yep. But we're in it now. So I think, I don't know if we need to like treat every environment as hostile now, or if we need to like, I don't know. It seems like we're at a point where like it's either going to get really dark and really dangerous, or we're going to step in something and they're going to be like, y'all are done now. You can leave. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I imagine it's going to be the dark and dangerous. Otherwise, why did they specifically ask for Marshall? A former Marine Marshal.
I don't know. Personally, I don't know why they'd bring a marshal in. It makes everything public.
Yeah, that's a good point. Other than maybe they thought I'd try to protect my dad.
Mm.
I mean, they had to
It's just
know more than they're letting on. 'Cause,
obviously.
like, why there were at least some specificity. I can't say the word. She said it. It's fine.
Specificity.
Thank you.
Mm.
To who they chose. I mean, John Bishop, he's tied up in this. I'm connected to my dad. Don't know who Tavin's connected to in
Me.
all of this. You, okay?
Yeah.
And then I guess Andrea was connected to me. So at the very least, we seem to be the center of this.
Yeah, that's the thing I don't get. Like, this operation could have been handled by any team of operators or experts, but they hired 4 what I can see is expendable assets, regardless of what Andrea says.
I don't think we're as expendable as you think, unless it's a grand ruse to try and get rid of people, which is possible.
But that's just it. Like, they don't. Getting
No, I
rid
would have
of
never-
me.
I
Getting
would
rid of
never
me
done
doesn't do anything. And
I mean,
you wouldn't
same.
have been involved either.
Well, I've never been
So-
involved otherwise, unless they wanted information and thought that they knew my dad was involved and that someone that you knew well was involved, and they thought that would somehow make a measure of silence, or the opposite. Maybe they know us well
Oh.
enough to know that I definitely would not keep my mouth fucking shut about this.
I don't know. The math ain't mathin'. And then that thing in the capsule, like the fleshy
Fleshy bug?
spider
Spider?
scorpion thing. What the fuck was that?
I don't know. I don't know.
I wanted to get my hands on one, but I don't want to open a cryotube because if I could take it apart, I might have been able to figure out what the fuck it was for. But
I mean, we don't know anything about it. We don't know anything like.
yes,
what
that's why we
it's
examine it.
I understand, but like, they're still alive, and the people in the pods with them are very dead.
That's why we get one of them and we figure out why they're dead.
Well, I appreciate that, Joshua, but the fact of the matter is we could take it out and it could kill all of us. Like, we just don't know.
No, yeah, I know. I'm just saying there's a lot of things that we.
I appreciate your curiosity in it. I do get that. I get that.
We need to get ahead of something. We need something that they ain't got. We got to find something that we need leverage. We need information because it seems like we're playing from behind constantly, and I don't like that feeling.
We're a step behind. Absolutely.
So whenever we get to Sevastopol, I got a feeling it's going to get real heavy.
I don't remember if this is a thing that I actually did or if I just thought it to myself. When we left Alba, did I say that I messaged my mom?
Yes.
Yeah.
Do I have any response from her?
Not currently.
Okay. All right. Sorry. Sorry. ADHD. It just suddenly I was like, wait a second. It's been a minute.
I recognize the look. That's why I was like, all right, here we go. Yeah, we need some leverage. We got to get ahead of it. So I think Sevastopol, we need to just, I don't want to say go back to the core days, but I think we need to move, search, take what we need and just like not get distracted. Like we've been so distracted with everything.
It's been kind of hard not to be.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying it's not, but we definitely need to like get our shit together because if we don't get that leverage point, I think we're all done for.
Do me a favor.
Yeah.
You have got to get Tavin to stop treating Andrea and I like we're his fucking enemies.
Working on it. He's slow. But to be, it would help if you weren't so like, I know you can't be, but like, I'm not saying back off being a hard ass, but like, don't bark so much.
Let's be honest, Joshua. It doesn't matter how I am to him.
I know. I'm just trying to make it work. Tavin's slow to trust. Is what it is. But we got 22 days. Look, I'm a level with you. I'm not just a medic. So I think I'm gonna get
What
on
do you
the
mean by that, Joshua?
let's just say I used to get dropped in the hot spots and pull people out.
Okay.
So this when we hit Sevastopol, I think we're gonna have to like God, I really hate putting this mask back on because I don't like the person I've become. But we're gonna have to get real cold and get the job done. You know what I mean?
You know what you mean. You gotta get Tavin under control. I mean, not just being a dick to me and Andrea, but like pure panic at paper, at every little bump. Like, I understand he went through a traumatic experience, but like, come on, man.
Yeah. I'll
He's
get him
also
under control.
got to stop threatening to like kill me, leave me behind.
I'll take care of it.
All right.
I'm gonna walk out. Try not to kill Jamie tomorrow.
It only makes him stronger.
You know it's a bullshit line. They fed us in the car.
But here we are.
Damn, you're right. I'm just gonna walk off.
Yes, you walk off knowing that you have just been bested in that outcome. Tavin, can you give me an observation roll, please?
Fine. I'm gonna push it. One success.
One success. Okay. As you're kinda you're in the bridge, kinda re-looking over kind of like the file, seeing if there was anything that you'd missed, and making like your copy and stuff like that. You think you notice something on one of your comms units, and it doesn't really seem like anything as you kind of go back, but then you notice something again, and that's when you do look. As you've been doing this, you've realized that you hadn't switched off your radar, just keeping an eye on what was happening. When you take a glance at the radar, you notice that the 11th blip hasn't moved in a while. You think that it's just been in this one spot. And as you decide to actually take another look, that's when you realize that there's 9 other blips in this cargo bay.
Not 10.
Not 10. And as you begin to take more of a look, then there's 8. Then there's 5. Then there's 3. And then there's just the one blip. Not where the original 10 were, but off to the side. And that's where we're going to end today. So,
Fuck.
thank you everybody for coming along for episode 10. We have to find out if we're doing an episode next week, because I was made aware that next week, because America's a made-up country and just has to do everything different, I'm sure Mother's Day is next Sunday in the US or North
Yeah,
America.
it is.
In North America
Yeah.
in general.
So, we may not have an episode next week. We may switch our break week around.
I didn't know that next week was Mother's Day.
Well, you can let us know whether we're playing next week or not.
Jacobo will be at work, so
Well,
I'm good either way.
I'm good either way too.
Okay, well,
Same.
we will put out whether next week's episode is happening when we have a better information. But yes, thank you very much for everybody for coming along. And we look forward to seeing you in the next episode. So goodbye everybody. Bye.
Bye.